cause some serious damage. I've been there, okay? So what you want to do is avoid it. Hey YouTube, what's going on? Super excited for this video. If you are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you are here. I'm a cosmetic chemist specializing in natural hair care and the creative curly chemistry. We'll help you guys understand ingredients in your hair from a cosmetic chemist perspective, and I'll also help you guys start hair care lines as well. Today, I am sharing 3 popular habits that can harm your hair. And in the natural hair care community, there are always new things, new bandwagons, new techniques coming about. And some of them are really good, but then there's also some that are not so good, okay? So with that being said, let's get started. Okay, number 1. So this popular habit has been going on for a while now, and it's the whole no oil, no butter method. You know, basically, you are not using oils and butters like to seal in moisture. People are saying that oils and butters prevent your cuticles from breathing and how they block moisture from getting into the hair. I made a video on this, I want to say about a year and a half ago, titled The Secret Life of Oils on Your Hair, and it did very well and it gave a lot of information to you guys. But basically, this is a very popular habit that can harm your hair. So here's the whole thing about the cuticle and the hair itself. So our hair, we know it to be made up of protein, right? Of keratin. But there's also oil that makes up the integrity of our hair as well. Our hair is very lipophilic. When I say lipophilic, I mean it's very oil loving. It is very compatible with oil. Now, in order for our hair to retain its length, to prevent breakage, there needs to be a level of moisture within that cuticle so it can be, you know, flexible, and we can move it and style it without it breaking. It can be soft, you know, and be manageable. Now, the moisture is going to be supplied by either a water-based moisturizer, like a creamy base, or a liquid-based water-based moisturizer. But once it gets inside the cuticle, we have to be very careful, because the majority of these formulations are going to be about 70 to 80% water, which is a huge chunk of that formula being water. However, the very nature of water is that it loves to evaporate. It loves to go away from whatever the thing that held it in. Now, to kind of protect or retain that water to stay in the cuticle so we can get that moisturization, that is where oils and butters come into play. Because once oil and butter gets in contact with the cuticle, it's going to adsorb, not absorb, adsorb, A-D-S-O-R-B. And once it adsorbs to the cuticle, it's going to lock in that moisture so that the water within the hair will not easily escape the cuticle. Now, let's talk about the whole blocking moisture from getting in. A very common example I always tell people, you can put a gang of hair grease on your hair. And I'm saying hair grease because hair grease is like the heaviest amount of oil or sealant that you could even possibly use because it's so thick. If you put hair grease on your hair and go into the shower and put water on your hair, what's going to happen? Your hair is going to become wet. It's going to be soaked with water. So what does that mean? Grease itself, as heavy as that is, cannot block moisture from getting into the cuticle. That's number 1. Number 2, every oil is not made the same. Some people respond well to olive oil as a sealant. Some respond better to jojoba oil. So you gotta find the best sealant for you. Unfortunately, I think some people have taken like an oil and said, this oil doesn't work, that means all oils are bad for the hair. No, you gotta find the oil that works best for you, okay? And also, to go back into like the whole buildup of oils and butters, that's where shampoo comes into play. You know, you have to shampoo your hair. You have to, because we're using creamy products. We're using hair gels that have polymers and fatty alcohols and conditioners. We gotta shampoo our hair. But once you shampoo your hair with a good shampoo, that kind of resets the cuticle, and it also resets the scalp to receive more of that product without additional buildup, because you are effectively cleansing your hair. At the end of the day, y'all, you gotta do what works for you. So if you happen to be on the no oil, you know, group, and it's working for you, then stick with it. But if you're like the other people who like, girl, I tried that thing, my hair broke off like crazy, then you stick with the oils as the sealant, okay? Okay. Okay, number 2, the second popular habit that can harm your hair is co-washing only, okay? Now, this became really popular a few years back. I want to say with the curly girl method. A lot of girls were not shampooing their hair. They were only co-washing their hair. Now, here's the thing. Co-washes and shampoos are similar, but very different. So I want to show you guys an ingredient list that looks like a co-wash and an ingredient list that is a shampoo. So you'll notice that with the co-wash ingredient list, you have a lot of fatty alcohols like cetyl alcohol, cetyl alcohol, you have some cationic ingredients like regimens sulfate, but then you have your cleansing surfactants a little bit lower, maybe like in the middle or like the 3rd or 4th ingredient. Of course, it depends on the formulation. And then with a shampoo, first ingredient is water, but the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, typically it's going to be a cleansing surfactant. What does all that mean? Co-washes are great for the hair, but they're not so ideal for the scalp, because the worst thing you want to do is add additional creamy product to the scalp itself. I'm personally not a huge fan of like fatty alcohols and even some cationic ingredients being on the scalp, because these ingredients can cause build up very easily. I think shampoo should be for the scalp and conditioner should be for the hair itself. Now, how can this become an issue? With that buildup, you're gonna do a number of things. Number 1, you can block the follicles of the hair, which can then lead to a decrease in hair growth. Number 2, it can cause an increase of bacteria on the scalp. This will then lead to an increase of pH, which is then going to disrupt the scalp microbiome. So you have healthy bacteria on the scalp, which I'm gonna do a video on very soon, so stay tuned for that. But you also have bad bacteria, and you don't want the bad bacteria to outweigh the good bacteria, and that tends to happen when the pH of the scalp is way up, caused by increased dirt, caused by lack of shampooing the hair. If you want to co-wash, during the week as your hair feels kind of dry, that's okay. But do not neglect an actual shampoo. My top 2 shampoos, my top 3 shampoos right now that I'm loving. Number 1, the As I Am Long and Luxe Pomegranate Shampoo. I love that shampoo. Number 2, Carol's Daughter Wash Day Delight. And number 3, the Ethnic Gals Low Porosity Shampoo is also really good as well. So if you're looking for a good shampoo that actually cleanses the hair, okay, but doesn't strip the hair, check out those 3 shampoos, and I think you're gonna get some good results with that. Okay, and last but not least, the last popular habit that can harm your hair is, that's my little drum roll, styling your hair. Now, before you be like, wait a minute, you telling me I can't style my hair no more? No, that's not what I'm saying, okay? What I'm saying is you want to be very careful with your style, because styling, which is very popular, you do it every day, can harm your hair if it's not done the right way. So let's talk about heat first, okay? You guys know heat can change your curl pattern. Heat can mess up the cuticles of your hair. It can lift the cuticles. It can cause some serious damage. I've been there, okay? So what you want to do is avoid excessive heat, number 1. And then number 2, I talked about this recently, is you want to do a good protein treatment prior to, okay, getting any type of direct heat on your hair. Really more so flat ironing, because that's like the most direct you can get when it comes to heat in your hair. So you want to do at least a good protein treatment to make sure your hair is strong enough and the integrity is there in your cuticle to withstand that heat. Even though you should be using heat protection as well, that protein treatment will be really helpful as like a double layer protection also, okay? Number 2, braids and wigs, okay? Before you do any type of braids or wigs, you want to do a really good deep conditioning treatment, because your hair is going to be away for a while, and you don't want it to be away for a while in a very dry state to start with. So I'm a huge fan of steam treatments. I'm a huge fan of deep conditioning your hair, like a real thick, supple, deep condition. And then number 2, these things can be very harmful to the hair if it's left on too long. You don't want it to go longer than 6 to 8 weeks. I really want to say don't go longer than 4 weeks, but whatever. And the 3rd thing is going to be combing and brushing. These are popular things that we do every day that can harm our hair. So number 1, you want to be careful with these things, because they can lead to damage and breakage, but you want to really have the proper mindset. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but you want to have the proper mindset when you are combing and brushing your hair. You never want to do this when you are in a rush, and you never want to do this when you are upset, because you're not going to be mindful of the hair itself. If you're rushing, you're going to be like trying to get through it real fast and whatnot. So number 1, you want to be patient with your hair. And then number two, you want to use the right products, the right comb, the right brush. I love the, I think it's called the Wet Goody Detangling Brush. I'll put a picture of it here. I love that brush. It does a great job at detangling my hair. And as far as my moisturizer goes, I'll use like a detangling moisturizer like the Kuza Black Castor Oil Moisturizer. And those two together with patience on top of that, I get some great results when I'm detangling my hair and less breakage. So I would definitely implement those things, especially when it comes to how you style your hair. All right, guys, hope you have enjoyed this video and learned something new. Once again, you have to do what works for you. So even if these habits that I'm saying are not that good for your hair, but they're making your hair flourish, then by all means, girl or guy, keep doing it, because at the end of the day, you gotta do what your hair loves. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like this video, and to join the Curly Chemistry community, all you have to do is subscribe, make sure the notification bell is on. You can stay in the loop for more Curly Chemistry content. And of course, I have a question for you. I want you to comment below, what is one thing that you tried that did not work for you? Maybe it was a product, maybe it was a habit, a technique, a bandwagon thing that was popular, whatever that thing was, comment below and let us know. And I cannot wait to join the conversation with you. And if you're interested in learning more about ingredients in your hair from a cosmetic chemist perspective, you can check out the resource that I created just for you, the Curly Girl's Guide to Hair Care Ingredients and the Natural Hair Care with some flashcards. I have the link below and a promo code just for you as well. And if you're interested in starting a hair care line, no matter where you are in the world, no matter where you are on the journey, in the beginning or you're about to launch, you can work with me one-on-one. I have a link below for you as well. All right, guys, I love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.